Welcome back to bennystake. I'm your girl Benny, and child, I'm gonna be bringing you really quickly my thoughts on Young, Famous, and African. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. We have a lot to discuss, but we're gonna keep it cute, we're gonna keep it mindful. Alright, first thing I wanna say is something everybody has said before, but ain't nobody on that cast young. I'm sorry. Nobody on that cast is young. All right, as I'm looking around, the knees are about to give up. With the exception of our good brother Swanky, everybody's knees is on the way out. All right, everybody's knees is on the way out. Perhaps Fantana, and I don't know how old Nadia is. Everybody else, I know y'all are either having perimenopause or menopause itself. Nobody on that show is young. It's a lot of midlife crisis going on that show. Ain't nobody young. Ain't no young knees, ain't no young elbows, ain't no young necks, ain't nobody young on that show. Absolutely not. Right? And when it comes to the plot, ain't really nothing to talk about because it's an argument every scene. Literally, all they do is meet up at different restaurants and then they argue. They literally throw events just to go and argue. For this video, I want to specifically talk about Annie, okay? So the show aired. We saw that baby. That baby was staring for the Holy Ghost the whole time. We all saw the head bobs, okay? We all saw the wig trying to be the most high. I'm talking about high and lifted up, okay? Her head was out here, her wig was here. Her head was here, the wig was here. We all saw that. We all saw everybody's wig betrayed them, which, by the way, why are not getting braids? Like the entire cast. Why are y'all not getting braids? Like, ain't no braids, ain't no style. There was nothing but wigs. Wigs that were high and lifted up the whole time. The head was here, the wigs were here. And I'm like, introduce them. You know, and if you cannot for some reason, go ahead and get you some braids. Okay? Lay it down. And y'all were literally in South Africa. Okay? There is so many styles that I've seen online of how South African women do their hair. It's different styles. I know the cast isn't entirely from South Africa. We have Annie, we have Iniedo, we have, Nadia, we have Zari, we have Fantana. Fantana, I think, is from Ghana. The others were from Nigeria. I believe Zari is from Tanzania or something. All those countries, baby, they got hairstyles. They got different things to switch it up. Different things to switch it up. The hair was wrong the whole time. And at this point, I don't think it's enough for us to just be like, oh, the stylist. It's not even enough for us to do that, one. And two, I'm ready for us. I'm ready for African women, especially on TV, to really embrace our own styles. Right? Like, no Bantu knots were seen in sight. Okay? And no braids were seen in sight. And no cornrow, nothing. Nothing. Y'all was down there rocking the same wigs that Pontius Pilatus and them was wearing when they done crucify my Lord and Savior. The wigs was high and lifted.
I'm not even trying to spend too much time on the wigs, but really the stylists on this here show gotta show up better, or the women just have to decide to do something different altogether, because low-key, the wigs were terrible. I'm talking about, it was so lifted, I could see the frontal lobe.
It was a separation and we need to talk about it. Right? On average, the wigs were not giving. What happened to the braids? Like, ain't the braids cute? Don't braids be cute to y'all? Why is it that the look of wealth, when it comes to African TV and African media and African shows, why is it that the look of wealth has to be wigs. And if you're going to do a wig, do it right. Because I've never been against people who wear wigs, because it is your head. Do whatever you want to do. But ain't no need for your wig to be up here while your head is down here. Right? We need to be able to bring it together. It has to come together for the glory of God. We need to be able to bring it together. And what I really want to talk about is how much a lot of us are missing the plot. And how much this show really has failed to highlight the actual issues at hand. Right? So you have the entire show where they literally go from scene to scene just to argue. All they do is, I'm going to bring everybody together and everybody's going to come together. Mind you, as soon as everybody comes together, they tear each other apart, they insult each other, they yell, they scream, they cuss each other out, and then they leave. Next scene, the next cast going to be like, I'm going to bring people together. They're going to come together and repeat over and over and over and over and over again. And it's like this, I don't want to put it on this show to really represent how Africans interact with each other, but this ain't it. This is not it. Africans are petty. Africans are a lot of things. Africans can hold a grudge. Africans can be shady, but we do more than just that. All these people who are famous, what are they famous for? I did not see nothing to showcase why they're famous. All I know about Swanky is that he likes outfits and dramatic entrances. That's it. The event was just literally them sitting, eating, and arguing. What else do y'all be doing? Zari the Boss Lady. How did you become Zari the Boss Lady? Can you give us that? Diamond, can you show us a little bit into your music instead of sticking your trumpet down there in Fontana's canal? Can you give us something else? Can you show us the music? Can you show us the process? Nothing. The whole time, nothing and a half. This show really failed to acknowledge the poor treatment of African women at the hands of African men. Because if you really pay attention to all the relationships in this show, I'm not going to get too much into Zari and her new, boo thing, because again, their relationship is relatively new. But if you pay attention to how Diamond has dealt with her, if you pay attention to how Diamond has dealt with Fontana, if you pay attention, the worst of them all, if you pay attention to how, Tubaba has dealt with Annie. So much so that we got this baby tearing for the Holy Ghost in every scene. That is trauma. That is trauma at the hands of these African men. I'm talking about the Nigerian ones, the Tanzanian ones, the South African one, because that baby naked. He literally sat there and had to wait for Kanye to come and explain to him the value of Kaylee. Now, Kaylee, you is a white woman. Okay? You is a white woman. On average, you are a lot of people's preference. I'm pretty sure you could find you another Negro. I'm pretty sure you could find you another Negro that's going to give you half an inch of a respect the naked and gave to you. All these men gave nothing and a half the whole time. Now, Fontana, I'm going to need for you to go ahead and walk me through where you were losing all this oxygen that's supposed to be on your brain. Because I ain't going to hold you. Me and you, the nose the same, right? Mine might be a little bigger, but the nose the same. Which means me and you, we are inhaling enough oxygen. Where is yours going? Where is Dora? Because you're going to have to explain to us where all that oxygen is going, because it's not making it to the brain. Okay? And ain't no way, like, you guys to be able to connect the two. Ain't no way. Absolutely. Where is the oxygen going? Because where is it going, ma'am? Nadia tried to help you the whole time. Ain't no way. Kaylee, ain't no way. Ain't no way your esteem is that low. Okay? Ain't no way. You got Fantana over here. You ain't give us no music. You ain't give us no nothing. Even your producer is sitting here having to calculate what songs does Fantana have. And you are sitting here, Diamond, Diamond. At first, I didn't like seeing Iniedo as a cast because Iniedo is to me somebody that I hold to such a high esteem, right? Like if you grew up watching, Nigerian movies, if you grew up watching a lot of like series, a lot of like Nollywood, you got Iniedo, you got Rita Dominique, you got Omotola, you got Genevieve, like all of these people, I feel like you guys are just like the OG, and I don't want to see y'all in some mess. Right? Seeing Iniedo in a show like this to me was the equivalent of maybe seeing, I don't know, Ali Bailey, right? Seeing Ali Bailey in a reality TV. Not a good look. Immediately as soon as I saw her, I was like, no, please. Like, I don't want to see you engaging in like salacious behaviors and like petty things, right? But I do have to say, out of the entire cast, she made the most sense. Her and Nadia, Zari's just always looking for a mess. So at a certain point, like, I can respect her because one thing about Zari, she gonna look for trouble and stand by it. She don't be tootsie rolling like Annie, who really don't even have a problem with the cast. Your problem is your husband, right? But in this video, I really want us to take a step back and really analyze how a lot of African women suffer at the hands of these African men, right? Because if you think about it, when Annie got together with Tubaba, that baby was 15. Annie was 15. He was 24. That is 9 years of a difference. And so you see her. That baby is I'm talking about Bob Marley. That baby is bobbing her head every 5 seconds. And I'm like, dang, something is going on with her. And lo and behold, beholding the laws, why Tubaba gonna be the one to file for a divorce? If y'all don't know the story, this man got together with this young girl, okay, when she was 15. That's grooming, y'all. I'm sorry, that's grooming. That is grooming. And at the time they got married, this baby already had, 5 kids? He already had kids by other women. And she was 15 years old. Where was her family? Because honestly, we cannot talk about Tubaba's mistreatment of Annie without really taking a step back and realizing, like, wait a minute. Who approved of that man to marry that baby with all them kids he already had? Who approved of it? Was it because he was famous, he was a superstar, the y'all were just willing to let go of your daughter? Was that the reason why? Who approved of this? Where your father at? Where your mother at? She was 15, y'all, 15. This man is all she's ever known. So we can come over and be like, why she don't just leave? Why she don't just leave? She was 15. She was 15. That is years of trauma. That is literally years of this man manipulating you, disrespecting you, out of his way, over and over and over and over and over again. And that's all you've ever known. And let's keep it a buck. One thing about African mothers, they gonna advise their daughters not to leave the man. 99.9% of the time, a lot of African women do not advise their daughters to leave. A lot of African family members do not advise their daughters to leave abusive relationship, infidelity in relationship. They do not advise their daughters to leave because the divorce is such a taboo. Whatever is wrong in a marriage is always the woman's fault. So I can only imagine what kind of messaging she got over and over and over again. Right now, mind you, this is also a man who has money. This is also a man who has money. We saw Annie in a couple films back in the day, right? Like she was in a couple films here and there when she was younger. But I can only imagine why she stopped. Did this man not want her to continue? Was she trained? Was she advised to go ahead and leave everything of herself and focus on this marriage to avoid him cheating, to avoid him having babies by other women? Those are the things that's actually happening in so many relationships, right? And so for this show to actually sit and address that for real, we got arguments every scene. Every venue, they would dress up in dramatic gowns. Their hair is lifted. Their head is right here. The wig is here. They would do all that only to argue from scene to scene to scene to scene. Why are we not talking about the violence that these African women face at the hands of these men? Tubaba is a wicked man. You did all this to her. That baby has been traumatized. I'm sorry. This right here is not normal. This right here, that's not normal. That's a lot of trauma. That's a lot of resentment. That's a lot of things that this woman has dealt with that is now showing up in this way. On TikTok, when I was reacting to, I think, like a previous episode, I kept having this inkling that this woman is going to delete herself one of these days. And so there was this audio that just like surfaced because Tubaba, after everything he's done to that baby, after all the embarrassment, after all the disrespect, after all the trauma, okay? Now, mind you, last season, he's the one that suggested that they renew their vows because he finally sort of kind of understood all of the things that she might have been going through. So they renewed their vows, only for him to then be the person leaving her. You took her youth. You took her innocence. You took her sanity. Now, mind you, this man's real name is Innocent. I have never seen a man more guilty called Innocent. I've never seen it. So you have this audio, and it's like my heart breaks for her, but it's like everybody online is blaming her, rightfully so. Because yes, it gets to a point where like, girl, you gotta leave. But we also have to take a step back and realize the context with which she's lived in. This is a man she's known her entire life. They have kids together. She's accepted so much. That psychologically, that has to do something to you. I've never been one to tell people stories, and I'm not gonna start now. All I will say is, these are things that I've witnessed in my own family, okay? You will have men who will do the most despicable things. And then the women stay because, you know, divorce is bad. You cannot leave as a woman. You just have to adjust. It's just a man. He gonna do the things. And it's like it's so much abuse, verbal, physical, emotional, financial. And African women, they're just socialized and they're just taught to stick by it. To just stick by it. And these men get away with so much. This man has been successful, wildly successful, regardless of how he's been behaving.
I am going to scatter everything. Nobody knows the wrongs of an angry woman. I will ruin everything. Hello, Inobia family. This is Annie. You know, said that I was with my husband today. Peaceful, nothing happened. My husband told me he had a shoot today. Only for him to pack his things and his stupid cousin Frankie helped him plan it. His family does not love me. They hate me. They've been giving me hell for 10 years. Today, my husband packed his things. He lied to me that he was going to shoot. But my husband is on his way to America, planned by himself, Efel Morebe, and Frankie. All of this behind my back. I don't deserve this. I don't. I know this is not your business. but I can't call any member of his family. I can't even call his manager. He will not take my call because he thinks I'm the reason. He thinks I'm in his way. He thinks I'm in his way. So he, Efe, would never take my call. He don't send it on his way to America without telling me. Without telling me. He's going to see Pero in America. And his other kids, don't move this car. Park this car. I'm going right now on Instagram Live. I'm going now. I'm done.
That broke my heart. Right? Because we can tell the jokes, we can say how wrong she was, because she was. She treated, Zaria necessarily. Calling Nadia a witch and a bee was so unnecessary. I agree with all of that. But if you take a look back, again, I'm not saying this to justify her behavior at all. But this is a cry for help. That entire show has been a cry for help. The whole time. That's heartbreaking. And so you have Tubaba on his Instagram. He's chilling, talking about, ain't nobody hacked me. It's really happening. I'm leaving her because according to him, she's the one that's standing in his way. She is the one that's standing in his way, innocent. And I'm not saying I wish the show would turn it into a whole, let's highlight the abuse in in freaking, marriages and relationships within African families, Nigerians, South Africans, or whatever the case is. While I'm not saying that that's what they should have turned it into, I really wish there were real and honest conversations happening. The only person who's ever even tried to stand up and speak life, right, and really try to make innocent this Tubaba of a guy, make him see the error of his ways, was Nadia. There was one scene where this man was literally talking about how it's okay for him to cheat. And you had this other guy over there trying to find a way to help him retrace his words so it doesn't come across as in one way. And then you had Annie trying to help him backtrack and do the things. The only person who said anything was Nadia. And you have Naked walking around over here, not even recognizing the value in the woman that he does have. It took Kanye. What did Kanye tell us? A man will leave you thirsty and dry in the desert. So after everything you've taken from this girl, now you get to be the one to leave. Ladies, it's okay to leave. African women of all the countries, Congolese women, and it's okay for us to really have real and honest conversations around how a lot of African young girls, they're literally trained from such a young age to make it so that their husbands become almost like their identity. For a second there, Annie, she was in movies. We used to see her in different movies. She used to try to act. But that was a long time ago. Before you knew it, this baby literally just became Tubaba's wife. Tubaba's wife that he consistently disrespected. Tubaba's wife that he consistently mistreated. And so you have her breakdown talking about how he's the one that's going to tell her that she stood in his way. I can bet, okay? I can bet my pinky toe that many people told her she could not leave. I can bet many people told her it's okay. Men just be cheating. You just deal with it as a woman. Before they even got together, before they even married. Because again, she was 15, he was 24. This is traumatic. I'm sorry. There's a lot of relationships that these women are just sitting and dealing with so much trauma and so much pain. And we're not addressing it enough. We're not. So my heart goes out to her. She should have left many months ago. But I understand why she didn't. I understand, and I'm guessing that maybe the surroundings would not even support or encourage her to leave. I understand that they probably blamed her for the cheatings that he did. I understand that he probably manipulated her into thinking that she would never have better than him. I understand that. And I understand how society is wired, how they blame women for the disrespect and the abuse from their men. You would have a man who, let's say, maybe assaults a young woman. The first question people would ask, well, what was she wearing? You will have a man raise his hands at a woman, and then people will turn around and ask, well, what did you do? As if there's anything that you can do or should do to avoid a man, to help a man not harass you or assault you or raise his hands at you. That is the reality of many relational dynamics in so many African countries. And we have to address that. We have to really talk about it. Even Diamond, you have Diamond who talking about how he don't want to marry nobody, but has no problem putting babies. Like I'm talking about, if my computer could conceive, okay, Diamond would give this one a baby. Okay? Nobody's talking about that. Child, that's it on me, y'all. The show is on Netflix. I'm not even going to say anymore because there's nothing more to be said. Literally, the entire show, they went from venue to venue and they argued the whole time. And last thing I'm going to say, what's that guy's name? The tall one, the one that wants to have kids through surrogacy so much, Louis. Louis, it's okay. It's okay. Nothing is cornier than a dude who's just like chill, cool, calm, and collected, trying to act. Embrace that. I'm corny too. If you pay attention to half the things I be saying, corny. Okay? Weird. I like that about myself. The world needs more honest and authentic people, right? Like, I wish he would lean more into his story as far as like being excommunicated from your family. What does that mean? What does that mean for you? Like, I really wish that would be something that we explore. Like, what do you mean you got excommunicated, right? That's something that has roots. But we rarely talk about that. We just argue from place to place to place to place to place. From the show, I can tell you have a really kind heart. Like you feel your feelings. Fantana ain't got no brain. You could leave Fantana alone. Stand on that. Alrighty, y'all, that's it. If you haven't yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. If you watch this show, please let me know your thoughts. What did you guys think about the show? What did you guys think about, Annie? What did you guys think about the whole concept? What did you guys think about everything that happened in the show? And as always, please go ahead and leave a comment, leave a like, share with a friend, subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you always know when I upload. And I'm going to go ahead and see you guys on the next one. Bye, Z's.